Imagine you need a digital tool, maybe a custom flashcard app for learning, or a really specific calculator for your work.
Or even like a simulation, a little world with rules like an ecosystem.
And instead of coding, you just describe it in plain English. You hit enter.
And bam, seconds later, it's built. It works right there on your screen.
And here's the really wild part. You don't write any code, and it costs you nothing. $0.
Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive. And yeah, that capability, it's not science fiction. It's actually hiding in plain sight inside Google Gemini right now.
It feels like it fundamentally changes what building something digital even means.
It really does. It's turning text prompts directly into working software, instantly.
Okay, so let's really dig into this. We want to make sure you listening right now can walk away and actually use this thing. Our mission today is pretty clear. We're handing you the keys.
Right. So first, we got to understand what this actually is. How is it different, maybe more powerful than just a regular chatbot spitting out code?
Then we'll walk through 4 examples. And these aren't trivial things. They're genuinely impressive.
Yeah.
Learning tools, simulations with memory, real proof.
Yeah, got to show it works. And finally, the main event, the golden formula. This is the step-by-step way to write prompts that actually get you useful working tools. You could build your first one today.
Okay, let's start with that core idea. When we say Gemini builds a tool, we're not talking about it just giving you like a chunk of Python code you have to figure out how to run.
Exactly. That's the old way. This is different. It builds the complete application. User interface, buttons, everything. Right there in the chat window, it is the final product. Ready to go.
Oh, how? What's the magic trick under the hood? What's technically different?
Okay, so this is the cool part. Instead of just generating code text, Gemini generates the actual web stuff. HTML for structure, CSS for looks, JavaScript for the logic.
Right.
But then, and this is the key, it actually runs that code. It executes it and renders the live application right there inside the Gemini interface.
Ah, okay. So it's not just the architect handing you blueprints. It's the architect, the construction crew, and the finished building all presented at once.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Think of it like having this super fast, perfectly coordinated team of programmers on standby. You give them the idea, they instantly translate it, build it, and show you the working thing. It's like an execution sandbox built right into the chat.
So practically speaking, what does this unlock for people listening? Where can you use this power?
Well, it spans a few key areas, I think. For learning, it's huge. Imagine creating your own quiz games from lecture notes or specific flashcard sets, maybe even little simulators for like physics concepts.
Okay.
Then there's work. The speed boost here is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
You get a quick calculator for pricing quotes based on like 5 different inputs.
Yeah.
Done. Or a simple project board just for your team's weird way of doing things. You can build it.
Right. Tailored tools without waiting for IT.
Exactly. And, just for fun and creativity. Building little text games or maybe a random story prompt generator if you're a writer. Custom digital toys, basically, made in minutes.
So fundamentally, how does this shift the barrier to entry for creating digital things?
It makes building apps free and incredibly fast for anyone with an idea.
Okay, theory is one thing. Let's get into the proof. We need to see the complexity it can handle. What was test number 1?
Test 1, we aimed for a fairly complex English vocabulary learning tool. We were pretty demanding with the features.
Yeah, we didn't just ask for flashcards. We specified 2 input boxes, right? One for English, one for another language, say Vietnamese.
And a working add card button that actually saved the pairs locally in the browser session. The cards needed to flip smoothly when you click them.
And the tricky part, a next card button. But it couldn't just go sequentially. It had to pull a random word from the deck each time. That requires some real logic behind the scenes.
Yeah, state management and randomization. And you know what? It nailed it. Clean interface, nice soft blue theme we asked for, flipping worked, random button worked. It wasn't just a picture of an app. It was an app.
Impressive. Okay, moving to more utility. Test 2, the weekly meal planner. This sounds practical.
Super practical.
Yeah.
The first ask was just the interface.
Yeah.
An editable table, 7 columns for days, 3 rows for meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Already a bit tricky for layout.
But the real test was that create shopping list button, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. This is where it got really interesting. This needed some intelligence, some semantic understanding.
So the idea was if you type in meals like braised pork with eggs or stuffed bitter melon soup,
Right, not just random text.
the tool had to understand those aren't just words.
Yeah.
It had to figure out the likely ingredients needed for those specific recipes.
And it worked, like, surprisingly well. It looked at braised pork with eggs, pulled out pork and eggs, saw a stuffed bitter melon soup, added bitter melon, and presented them as a nice checklist with checkboxes.
Wow.
It understood the meaning, the context, not just shuffling text around. It even added an export to text button, which was handy.
So what does that meal planner intelligence really tell us about its capabilities?
The AI can process semantic context to actually execute logical tasks. It's not just following simple commands.
Okay, let's push harder. Complexity, rules, real-time changes. Test 3 was an ecosystem simulation.
Yeah, we went full Sonant, but simpler. We wanted to see if it could handle multivariable logic and, crucially, visualize changes over time based on rules we set.
What were the rules?
3 things. Grass, which just grew randomly. Rabbits, which ate grass, but if there was no grass, they'd disappear. And foxes, who ate rabbits and they'd disappear if there were no rabbits. Interconnected dependencies.
Okay, that's already complex logic, but you added controls, too.
Yes. 3 working sliders right on the interface. You could adjust the starting number of rabbits, foxes, and how fast the grass grew in real time.
And it worked. You can move a slider and see the simulation change.
It was actually kind of stunning. You got this little box with colored dots moving around, obeying the rules.
Yeah.
You'd crank up the grass growth speed, and suddenly the rabbit population would boom, followed by the foxes. You could see the dynamics play out. 2-sec silence. Whoa.
Yeah.
Seriously, imagine scaling that kind of system. Interconnected rules, object states.
Yeah.
You could model factory lines, traffic flow.
That's more than just displaying data. That's modeling a dynamic system. Okay, that tested simulation. How about memory? Persistence. Test 4 was a game.
A classic text adventure game. We call it Journey to the Ancient Temple. Standard stuff, but with a key memory requirement.
So multiple locations.
Yeah.
Like a village, forest.
Yeah, we asked for at least 5. Village, forest, river, cave, temple. The usual setup.
But the critical test was the memory part, right? An inventory system.
Exactly. We specified that the player had to find a key item, let's say in the cave location.
Okay.
And only after finding the key could they open the final temple door. If they tried to open the temple without the key in their virtual pocket.
And the game had to stop them.
Yep, lock them. Give a message like, the door is locked, perhaps you need a key. It needed to remember the player's state specifically, whether they possess the key object or not, across different locations and commands.
And from just a paragraph description.
1 paragraph. And it built a solid little logic game. It understood object persistence, state management. Pretty cool.
Okay, so that simulation test. Is that really pushing the limits of what we'd expect from just typing text?
Yeah, I think so. It confirms the AI handles complex, nested logic and can even visualize changing variables in real time.
So bringing this back to the real world, if the cost to test a digital tool idea basically drops to 0, what does that mean for businesses, for projects like right now?
It means your innovation speed just got turbocharged, like 100 times faster maybe. You can test an idea, see if customers bite in an afternoon, something that might have taken weeks and budget before.
But hang on, if it's this easy,
Yeah.
why would anyone learn to code? Does this just kill entry-level developer jobs?
Good question. I don't think it kills them, but it changes them. Like maybe you won't hire someone just to build simple landing page calculators anymore.
Right.
Coders will focus on the really complex stuff, big integrations, secure APIs, unique high-performance systems. But for maybe 80% of the simple tools people need, yeah, this changes the game. It frees up human developers for harder problems.
So think about specific industries. E-commerce. What could you build?
Oh, easily. A custom sizing helper tool based on different country charts,
Uh,
or a quick profit margin calculator for marketing. Maybe an interactive quiz for lead gen, or a catchy headline A/B testing tool.
Customer service.
Interactive troubleshooting guides. Simple support ticket forms tailored exactly to your product. All doable, like now, without needing a dev team budget.
Which leads to the big question.
What?
Why? Why is Google giving away this much power for free? It seems generous.
Well, it's strategic generosity. They're in a massive AI race, right? Against OpenAI with ChatGPT, Anthropic with Claude, others. Powerful, free features like this are a way to attract users and developers, build an ecosystem. It's a competitive moat.
And we, the users, get the benefit of that race.
Exactly. Now, we should be clear on the limits. You're probably not building the next Uber or a super complex database system with this yet.
Yeah.
But for that huge middle ground of useful utilities, yeah, Gemini can handle a surprising amount, probably, like you said, 80% of what most individuals or small teams might need day to day.
So drilling down, what's the main reason Google's offering this for free right now?
It's a strategic weapon in the hyper-competitive AI race. Market share and user lock-in. Mid-roll sponsor read.
Okay, so how do you actually start? It's pretty simple. Head over to gemini.google.com, log in with your Google account.
Yep. But here's a tip. Don't try to build your magnum opus on the first go. Start really small, like seriously small. Ask it to make a button that just changes its color when you click it.
Why start so basic?
Because you learn by watching how it builds it. You see the structure it creates, the code it uses, even though you don't need to touch it. It helps you understand how to ask for more complex things later.
Gotcha. Okay, now let's get to the core takeaway, the part everyone's waiting for, the golden formula for getting good results. How do you prompt this thing effectively?
All right, this is crucial. This separates a useful app from, like, a frustrating failure. 4 main rules. Rule 1, be extremely specific.
No vague requests.
No, don't say, make me a budget app. That's useless. You got to spell it out. Make an app with an input box labeled expense name, another labeled amount, a drop-down menu for category with options, food, transport, rent. Below these, display a total expenses line that updates automatically. See the difference?
Huge difference. Detail. Okay, rule 2.
Rule 2, describe the user experience, the UX. How should it feel to use? What happens when someone clicks a button?
Give an example.
Okay, so for that budget app, use a clean, minimalist design with a gray background and green accent colors for buttons. When the user clicks the Add Expense button, the expense should be saved, and importantly, the name and amount boxes must immediately clear themselves, ready for the next entry. That kind of flow detail matters.
Right, thinking about the interaction. Rule 3.
List the main features and functional requirements. Think beyond the basic inputs. What else does it do? For the budget app, maybe you need. Include a button to export all data to a CSV file. Add a feature to filter the displayed expenses by category. You got to ask for the functions explicitly.
Okay, specific inputs, described UX, listed features. What's rule 4?
Rule 4, ask for professional design parameters. This is about polish. Don't just hope it looks good. Tell it. Say use a clean, modern design style. And the absolute killer tip.
Let me guess. Responsive design.
You got it. Always ask for responsive design. Seriously, I still mess this up sometimes myself. I'm rushing. I wrestle with prompt drift like anyone else, and forgetting responsive is a classic mistake.
And just to clarify for everyone, responsive design means?
It means the app automatically adjusts its layout to look good and work properly on any screen size. Desktops, tablets, and especially phones.
Because if it doesn't work on a phone?
It's basically useless for most people most of the time.
Yeah.
Skipping that single phrase, responsive design, is probably the #1 reason a generated app feels broken. It's that important.
Okay, so those are the 4 rules. Specificity, UX, features, design responsive. What about the process itself? Is it just one shot?
No, definitely not. Think of it like a conversation, an iteration. Your first prompt probably won't be perfect. That's okay. Treat the AI like a junior developer you're guiding.
So you refine it.
Yeah. After it builds the first version, you give feedback. Okay, good start, but can you make the add button 20% larger? Or, now let's add a pie chart below the list that visualizes spending by category. Iterate. Talk to it.
And thinking like a professional prompter helps too.
Absolutely. Break down really big ideas into smaller, logical chunks. Give context. Telling Gemini the tool is, for a science teacher explaining photosynthesis, will yield a very different result than just asking for a generic diagram tool. Context shapes the output.
Good point. Let's quickly recap the biggest mistakes to avoid then. Number 1 seems to be vagueness, not being specific.
For sure. Number 2, absolutely forgetting to ask for responsive design. Game over if you forget that.
Then what else?
Not testing it. Don't just build it in Gemini and assume it's perfect. Send the link. Yeah, you can often share them to a friend or a colleague. Watch them try to use it. Their confusion is gold. It tells you exactly what needs fixing. Real user feedback is critical.
So if you had to pick one single habit that leads to success with this?
Being ruthlessly specific in your requests and treating the whole thing as a back-and-forth conversation, a refinement process.
Okay, let's zoom out, the big picture here. What's the ultimate conclusion from all this?
I think it's pretty profound. The traditional barriers to creating digital tools, the time, the money, needing specialized coding skills they've basically evaporated for, like a huge chunk of common applications, that 80% we talked about.
The speed of innovation just leaped forward.
Dramatically. Individuals, small teams, entrepreneurs, smart people are already using this. They're building tiny software businesses, microsays, testing product ideas overnight, creating custom tools to fix their own workflow annoyances in minutes.
And this is just the beginning, presumably. Where does this go?
Well, it's only going to get more powerful, right? In 6 months, who knows what complexity it'll handle in a year or two. It's not crazy to think it could replace entire development teams for certain kinds of small or medium-sized projects.
Wow.
The trajectory is steep.
So the call to action for everyone listening is pretty straightforward.
Dead simple. Go to Gemini.Google.com. Log in, start playing, build something small today.
Seriously. The question isn't if AI tools like this will change your job or your industry. They will. The only question is whether you'll be riding the wave, using this advantage, or getting swamped by it because your competitors figured it out first.
Build something. Test an idea today.
Use this power. It's a competitive edge sitting right there. Use it wisely.